Get ready to be shocked. I've uncovered the most disturbing websites on the internet that you won't believe actually exist. Okay, what you're about to discover isn't something you should take lightly. These aren't your run-of-the-mill shock sites or gore forums. No, these are carefully crafted web experiences that blur the lines between reality and fiction. These things will challenge your perceptions and in some cases, your ethics. And one more thing, I won't be responsible for any panic attacks. The websites you're about to see may shock you, disturb you, or even keep you up at night. You've been warned. Website number 1, Urban Outrage. Is that new jacket made of cowhide or your cousin Steve? Okay, so you're browsing for a new handbag or even a pair of shoes only to discover they're made from, wait for it, human skin. I know what you're thinking, but I promise you that this isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's the premise of Urban Outrage. Urban Outrage is a website that at first glance appears to be just another online fashion retailer, but look closer and you'll find yourself tumbling down a rabbit hole of ethical nightmares. When you first land on Urban Outrage's homepage, nothing seems off. A minimalist design mirrors countless other e-commerce sites. Crisp product photos showcase leather goods against white backgrounds. It's only when you start reading the product descriptions that a creeping sense of unease sets in. Dum dum dum. A chic messenger bag is described as being crafted from genuine Avery leather. The site says things like, Avery's leather is natural and one of a kind. After all, there was only one Avery. As your eyes scan further down the page, you're confronted with more disturbing offerings. There's the Juliet skirt, featuring their softest ever Juliet skin, meticulously tailored from the best of Juliet. At this point, you might be telling yourself it's just a tasteless marketing gimmick. But Urban Outrage doesn't break character. Every product, every description, every customer review maintains the unsettling narrative that these goods are made from human beings. Whoosh! The site even features an afterlife collection where they offer to turn your deceased loved ones into handmade items. Why settle for an urn on the mantle, the copy reads, when you could carry a piece of your departed with you always? The question I'll ask is, can you turn your dead sibling into a fashion item? I kind of feel like some of you might do this. As we go deeper into Urban Outrage, the line between dark satire and genuine threat becomes increasingly blurred. The site provides detailed sourcing information. What does that mean? They explain how they select their materials and process them into luxury goods. There are testimonials from seemingly satisfied customers. Most of them praise the unique qualities of their human leather products. One review reads, "Totally unique boots. It's cool knowing that there are only a few pairs out there in the world because they specifically came from Meg. I'm knocking a star off because they're a little narrow, but if you have narrow feet, they'll be perfect." The attention to detail is both impressive and deeply disturbing. Urban Outrage has thought of everything from care instructions for your human leather goods to an FAQ addressing ethical concerns. They argue that using human leather is actually more sustainable than animal products, as humans are an abundant renewable resource. How would you feel if you were described in that way? Oh, don't get mad. Did Urban Outrage hurt your feelings? By this point, you're likely experiencing a mix of revulsion and morbid curiosity. Is this real? Could something like this actually exist? The threat feels tangible enough that you might find yourself hesitating before clicking Add to Cart. Who knows, you might end up on some kind of watch list. Urban Outrage's power lies in this lack of clarity. In an era of fake news and deepfakes where you don't know what's really true, a site like this preys on our uncertainties. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about ethics and consumerism. It even questions the value we place on human life. The site gained significant traction online, trending on Twitter and receiving coverage from major media outlets including the New York Post and USA Today. It sparked heated debates about the ethics of such a business. Some argued that it was a brilliantly executed piece of satire. Others, they feared it might be a front for actual criminal activity. So, the controversy grew and people began digging deeper, trying to uncover the truth behind Urban Outrage. Ethical hackers attempted to trace the site's origins. Others scoured business registries and legal databases for any sign of this thrilling company's existence. It's crazy that the truth was hiding in plain sight. Buried in the site's... buried might not be the best word to use now. Hidden in the site's Our Story section was a revelation that turned the entire experience on its head. Urban Outrage, it turned out, was an elaborate publicity stunt by the animal rights organization PETA. What? The fake online store was launched to highlight society's acceptance of using any living being for fashion. By presenting human leather as a product, Peter wanted to shock you and me into reconsidering our use of animal leather and other animal-derived materials in clothing and accessories. Peter's campaign was undeniably effective. The urban outrage site attracted over 1.2 million page views from more than 100 countries. It sparked countless discussions about ethics in fashion and forced many to confront their own cognitive dissonance regarding the use of animal products. Reactions to the reveal were mixed. Some praised Peter for the clever and impactful campaign, while others criticized the organization for what they saw as an emotionally manipulative and potentially traumatizing stunt. The debate raged on social media for weeks. So, Peter's move raises important questions about the ethics of shock tactics in activism. While Peter's campaign was undeniably effective in starting conversations, did it cross a line? Is there a point at which the ends no longer justify the means? Tell me in the comments. While Urban Outrage shocked us with its fictitious human leather product, our next website, Instacam, brings a very real invasion of privacy right to your screen. Website number 2, Instacam. A stranger can break into your house and stare at you while you sleep at night. Thanks to Instacam, this uncomfortable idea is a reality for thousands of people around the world. Thousands of unsuspecting people are being watched right now. Instacam might be broadcasting your life to the world. Your private moments could be someone else's entertainment. The existence of Instacam came to light in 2016 when Shelby Ivy, a woman from Oregon, shared a disturbing post on Facebook. Shelby explained that she and her sons were looking at live satellite images of Earth to find places for their next vacation. During their browsing, they stumbled upon a website that described itself as a live camera viewer. Intrigued, they decided to check it out, assuming they'd see live photos of interesting locations around the world. About to get freaked alert! What they saw wasn't just interesting, it was alarming. The website was live streaming footage from private security cameras inside thousands of homes. Shelby immediately reached out to mothers groups in her area, trying to warn everyone that their security cameras might be hacked and footage from their homes could be streaming online for anyone to see. Shelby's viral post helped millions of people discover Instacam, a website that spies on people by accessing cameras in their homes, offices, and even bedrooms. The site claims to be the world's largest online camera directory, with over 73,000 live streams available for anyone to watch. These cameras come from 256 countries, and users can filter by places, cities, and time zones. Wait, what? As you browse Instacam, the depth of this privacy invasion becomes painfully clear. You might see a family eating dinner. They have no idea that their intimate moment is being shown to anyone who wants to see it. Imagine if serial killers were watching you or your family. Down. Yeah. Or maybe a creep stumbles upon footage of your bedroom and your most private space is exposed for all to see. There are streams from restaurants, streets, bars, beaches, all streaming 24 hours a day, capturing moments that were never meant for public consumption. What's even more disturbing is the level of detail available. The exact coordinates of each camera are listed right there on the website. With a few clicks, a malicious user could potentially locate the physical address of any stream they're watching. Now, this feels like a scene straight from a serial killer movie. But how does Instacam get access to these private webcams? The answer is both simple and disturbing. Many people install cameras in their homes and offices for security purposes. They set up the camera, connect it to the internet, and then forget about it. The problem lies in the default passwords that come pre-programmed into these cameras. Every new camera comes with a default password, which is the same for every camera from that manufacturer. When setting up a new camera, users are supposed to change this default password to one of their own choosing. However, many people skip this crucial step, leaving their cameras vulnerable. Instacam takes advantage of this oversight. By using these default passwords, the site can access cameras that haven't had their passwords changed and stream the footage online. It's not due to hacking or malware, it's simply a matter of people not changing their default settings when installing internet-connected cameras. The implications of this are staggering. A Reddit forum dedicated to Instacam is filled with users sharing screenshots and links to private camera feeds. One user wrote, "I found a very nice apartment in Italy," and shared a link to a woman vacuuming. He kept watching her and made comments like, "She's making the bed right now." This voyeuristic behavior is not only creepy, but also potentially dangerous, as it can be used for stalking or planning break-ins. or you guessed it, worse things. The creator of Instacam has worked hard to stay anonymous, making it tough for authorities to take action. However, the site's IP address suggests it originates from Russia. As more people complained about the site, the anonymous creator granted an interview to the Huffington Post. During the interview, he showed no remorse for the invasion of privacy his site facilitates. Instead, he emphasized that he was proud of his work, stating, "I do not have regrets. I did a great job to show the problem of neglectful users. Without this example, users do not care about the password." He stressed that none of the cameras had been hacked. If users change the password on their cameras, there's no easy way for someone to gain access. However, many people doubt if Instacam's intentions are actually good. Writer Lance Ulanov raised a pertinent question. If the site's aim was really to help, why would it list thousands of webcams instead of just a handful? When asked if he felt bad for anyone whose privacy was invaded, Instacam's creator showed no remorse, saying, "Do you think their privacy is not invaded without my site? There are tons of video records and images on anonymous image boards." After receiving numerous complaints, Instacam changed its policies. Now, anyone who discovers their camera on Instacam can email them to get it taken off the site. However, the easiest way to protect oneself is clear. Change the default password on your security cameras. I think we can agree that the existence of Instacam raises serious questions about privacy in the digital age. We're in a time when we're increasingly surrounded by internet-connected devices, so how much of our lives are we inadvertently broadcasting to the world? Basic cybersecurity practices, people, like changing default passwords to begin with. Here's a question for you. When we embrace the convenience of smart home technology, are we opening up ourselves to unprecedented levels of surveillance? Since the cameras that are meant to keep us safe could ironically be the very things that make us most vulnerable. Okay, now we move on from the unsettling reality of Instacam, but our journey through the internet's dark corners is far from over. Our next stop takes us into government secrets and conspiracy theories, which I personally really love. Prepare yourself for The Black Vault, a website that might make you question everything you thought you knew about the world around you. Website number 3, The Black Vault. What if everything you thought was a conspiracy theory turned out to be true? The Black Vault has the evidence. It's a rabbit hole of government secrets. So, this website isn't just a collection of wild speculation, it's a massive archive of declassified government documents. The Black Vault was created in 1996, not by a team of investigative journalists or a group of retired government agents, but by John Greenwald Jr., who was just 15 years old at the time. Greenwald's fascination with aliens and UFOs led him to stumble upon a website claiming to have reliable, verifiable information about an alien mothership flying over Iran. The site said it had obtained this information from declassified US government documents. Intrigued by what he read and convinced more secrets were being hidden by secret agencies, Greenwald devoted himself to finding and publishing reports about conspiracy theories, secret projects, and declassified documents. For the next 28 years, he tirelessly filed Freedom of Information Act or FOIA requests, slowly building what would become one of the largest private collections of government documents in the world. Today, the Black Vault contains over 2.1 million pages of declassified documents about top-secret government cover-ups, UFO sightings, and unexplained phenomena. But what sets this site apart from typical conspiracy theory forums is its commitment to primary sources. Greenwald doesn't just speculate, he provides the actual government documents for users to read and interpret for themselves. One of the most chilling sections of the Black Vault deals with Project MKUltra, a real CIA program that ran from the 1950s to the 1970s. MKUltra was a top-secret mind control program involving illegal human experimentation. The Black Vault hosts over 20,000 pages of MKUltra documents. They revealed the darkest aspects of the program. These documents detail disturbing experiments involving hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and the administration of LSD and other drugs to unwitting subjects. The stated purpose of MKUltra was to develop ways to control human behavior, extract information, and even implant false memories. Some documents suggest the CIA was trying to create programmed assassins who would carry out missions with no memory of their actions. Any sets of movies come to mind? Yeah, I can imagine a few. Reading through these files feels like diving into a dystopian science fiction novel, except every horrifying detail is real. One document describes an experiment where a mental patient was dosed with LSD continuously for 174 days. Another details plans to use mind control techniques on foreign leaders. The extent of human rights violations revealed in these files is staggering. I can imagine it leaving its readers to grapple with the unsettling question, if this is what they've declassified, what remains hidden? But MKUltra is just the tip of the iceberg. The Black Vault also hosts an extensive collection of UFO-related documents, including approximately 2,780 pages of CIA documents about unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. This is the government's preferred term for UFOs. These files, declassified in the 1980s, contain reports of UFO sightings from various regions including Morocco, Iran, and Ukraine. One particularly intriguing document details a 1976 incident where American military personnel stationed in Iran reported seeing an object resembling a large jellyfish. The object was described as having several intense lights that it flicked in sequence and was estimated to be the size of a C-130 aircraft. Despite scrambling fighter jets to intercept, the object disappeared at speeds far beyond known aircraft capabilities of the time. Another file recounts strange late-night explosions in a tiny Russian town, while others describe suspicious aircraft flying over military bases. These aren't just random sightings by civilians. Many of these reports come from trained military observers and were deemed credible enough to be investigated by intelligence agencies. The Black Vault doesn't just present these documents, it contextualizes them. Greenwald often provides analysis and background information. This helps readers understand the significance of what they're seeing. He's become something of a folk hero in the UFO community, and many praise him for his tireless efforts to bring government secrets to light. But UFOs and mind control experiments are just the beginning. The Black Vault covers a wide range of controversial topics, from alleged government involvement in assassinations to secret weather control programs. There are files on cryptozoology, discussing government investigations into creatures like Bigfoot. Other sections talked about alleged suppressed technologies, from free energy devices to anti-gravity propulsion systems. One of the most unsettling aspects of browsing the Black Vault is how it challenges our understanding of reality. These aren't just fringe theories, they're official government documents detailing investigations and programs that in many cases the public was never meant to know about. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. How much don't we know about what our governments are doing? How many conspiracy theories might actually be true? The website's impact extends beyond just informing the public. Documents hosted on the Black Vault have been used by journalists, researchers, and even Congress members in their investigations. In 2020, Greenwald's persistent FOIA requests led to the CIA releasing its entire collection of UAP files. It was a move that garnered international attention and reignited public interest in the UFO phenomenon. However, the Black Vault isn't without its critics. Some argue that by presenting this information without proper context, the site can fuel harmful conspiracy theories. Disinformation is a real tactic used by intelligence agencies. Greenwald himself acknowledges these concerns. He encourages users to think critically and do their own research. "I'm not here to convince anyone of anything," he often says. "I'm just presenting the documents. It's up to you to decide what they mean." As we leave the Black Vault behind, we're left with more questions than answers. The site shows how much we don't know about the world around us and how much our governments might be hiding. But if the Black Vault makes us question our past and present, our final website forces us to confront our uncertain future. Prepare yourself for Exit Mundi, a catalogue of all the ways our world might end. Website number 4, Exit Mundi. Exit Mundi has hundreds of scientifically backed doomsday scenarios. Ever wondered how the world might end? Maybe you have, or maybe you don't care at all, but the site we're about to see cares. Created in 2001 by Maarten Koelemans, a professional science journalist from the Netherlands, Exit Mundi started as a personal project born out of a morbid fascination with doomsday scenarios. What began as a hobby soon grew into an extensive catalogue of potential apocalypses. I tell you, each one is more bizarre and terrifying than the last. Upon entering the site, you'll be greeted with a stark warning.
Exit Mundi is a collection of end-of-world scenarios. This site is not meant to scare people, but to inform.
However, as you go deeper into the site's contents, you might find it hard not to feel a creeping sense of dread. Exit Mundi doesn't just list vague, generalized ways the world could end. Instead, it provides detailed, often scientifically backed scenarios for each potential apocalypse. The site organizes these doomsday predictions into categories such as human-made disasters, cosmic disasters, Earth disasters, and even silly scenarios for the more outlandish theories. Whew. One of the most disturbing aspects of Exit Mundi is how it makes even the most far-fetched scenarios seem plausible. Take, for example, the grey goo scenario. This theory posits that self-replicating nanobots could potentially consume all matter on Earth, turning everything into a grey gooey mess. While this might sound like science fiction, the site provides scientific explanations and real-world research that lends credibility to this unsettling possibility. Another disturbing scenario is the bubble universe theory. According to this idea, our universe exists in a false vacuum state. If a bubble of true vacuum were to form somewhere in the cosmos, it would expand at a speed of light and obliterate everything in its path. The terrifying part? This could happen at any moment, without warning, and we'd never see it coming. But Exit Mundi doesn't just focus on grand cosmic disasters, it also explores more mundane yet equally frightening possibilities. The mass insanity scenario, for instance, describes a world where everyone simultaneously loses their grip on reality. The streets would be filled with people behaving erratically, climbing trees, jumping off buildings, and flapping their arms like birds. Even military commanders would go insane. I can imagine them potentially launching nuclear weapons and bringing about a self-inflicted apocalypse. Now that's flippin' scary. What makes Exit Mundi particularly unsettling is its use of scientific analysis to make each end-of-world theory seem more believable. Keulemans leverages his background in science journalism and provides references to academic papers, expert opinions, and historical precedents for many of the scenarios. This lends an air of credibility to even the most outlandish predictions. For instance, the site section on pandemics, written years before the COVID-19 outbreak, eerily foreshadows many of the challenges we faced during the global health crisis. It discusses the potential for rapid viral spread in our interconnected world, the possibility of overwhelmed healthcare systems, and even the risk of more deadly variants emerging. Reading this section in a post-COVID world is an undeniable example of how quickly our reality can shift. One of the most popular sections on Exit Mundi is the time frame page, which organizes potential apocalypses by when they might occur. Near-future scenarios include climate change disasters and nuclear war, while far-future events include the sun expanding to engulf the Earth and the heat death of the universe. But Exit Mundi isn't all doom and gloom. The site also includes a survival guide section, offering tongue-in-cheek advice on how to survive various apocalyptic scenarios. For a gamma-ray burst, it suggests duck and cover and hope for the best. For a robot uprising, the advice is simply, become a robot. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of Exit Mundi is how it forces us to confront our own mortality, not just as individuals, but as a species. It's a humbling experience that can leave visitors feeling small and insignificant in the face of possible cosmic indifference. I'll advise you not to underestimate the psychological impact of browsing Exit Mundi. For some, it can trigger existential dread or anxiety about the future. Others might find it oddly comforting, as if being prepared for every possible disaster provides a sense of control. The site itself acknowledges this, warning visitors that reading Exit Mundi for too long may cause symptoms of depression. Yet, despite its potential depressing content, Exit Mundi has garnered a dedicated following over the years. It's been featured in numerous media outlets and has sparked countless online discussions about the nature of existence and the future of humanity. The site's popularity speaks to a fundamental human fascination with our own demise. Just as we slow down to look at car accidents, we're drawn to contemplating the end of everything. Exit Mundi taps into this morbid curiosity and provides a comprehensive catalogue of our potential doom. We've explored the internet's strangest corners, but the most disturbing site of all? It might just be the one you're on right now. Also, for every disturbing website, there's an audience. Are you one of them? As we log off, remember, someone is always watching, even when you think you're alone.